Did you know that 80% of businesses fail within the first year? What if you could be the 20% that survived? I want to talk to you today about how to grow a God centered business without losing your faith or your peace. Okay, so let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back to the show. I'm Emily. I'm a certified Christian life and business coach. And on Fridays, we talk all things entrepreneurship and how to start, scale, grow, thrive as a Christian entrepreneur and what that will take. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you are and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time a new episode drops. I'm so excited that you're here. So let's get real. As Christian entrepreneurs, we want to serve, to build something impactful, and to glorify God. Kind of a tall order, and challenges, of course, come from that. So you wonder if your business is truly aligned with your purpose. You feel overwhelmed trying to manage business, motherhood, marriage, spiritual growth, doing the thing that God is calling you to do. You face pressure to succeed according to worldly standards, but also wanting to serve God first and foremost. And sometimes you just feel alone in having to manage all that mentally and spiritually and all that can entail. So I know this because I've lived it. When I launched my first online business, I was a new mom juggling nap schedules and email funnels and praying through decisions while just drowning in comparison. And I had already run a successful real estate business. I had been in corporate America, but I learned fast that success without spiritual grounding felt hollow. And if you didn't have that purpose and impact behind what you were doing with your day-to-day life, your life began to feel wasteful and you felt unproductive, and just bitterness in your heart starts to flourish because you feel like you're not living in your purpose. And what I really wanted was a business that brought income, obviously, but also impact without burning me out or pulling me away from God or making me feel like I was wasting this precious time I've been given, right? So here are the tips. Tip number 1, start with prayer, not a plan. So often we run to planners, Pinterest boards, strategy PDFs, but what if your first business meeting was with the Holy Spirit? Starting each week with time of prayer, to pray over that to-do list, to pray over what you're hoping to accomplish, and really giving God the margin and the space to speak to you and help you to clarify what actions to take. I have jumped into so many things full force because I felt like it was the right thing for me to do, but I wasn't consulting God, and a lot of those things failed. So take it from me and start with Christ first in your plan. Tip number 2 is build your business on biblical principles. It can feel tempting to follow what all the gurus say, fake urgency, scarcity tactics, or stretching the truth a bit. But Proverbs 10:9 says, whoever walks in integrity walks securely. And that is going to help fuel you to not ever feel like you're living in imposter syndrome. When you're your own boss, your own business owner, whatever role you might have in the business world, you can begin to feel like an imposter. You're not qualified, or you're not sure if this is the right step for you to take, or feel like you don't have enough to offer what someone would be willing to pay for. That's called imposter syndrome, and it keeps many entrepreneurs stuck, or people just not even launching their business because they feel like they're not qualified. And Satan would love to keep you still and not taking action toward your goals or toward what God is calling you to do. So I'm just speaking from experience. Do not let imposter syndrome take over. Stay secure in the integrity of what God teaches us and stay aligned with His purpose for what you're trying to achieve. Put the things that you value most as part of your mission for this business. If you have a kingdom purpose behind your business, there's going to be so much that is accomplished through you obeying God by launching this business, by helping it thrive and keeping those values sacred. Your harvest will be tenfold. Okay, tip number 3, guard your time like it's sacred. Your schedule should reflect your values. If your business is costing you your peace, your sleep, your family, it's time to reevaluate. You need to make sure that you are blocking out time where there's no phone, no work, quality time with God, quality time with your family. You can never pour from an empty cup. And I have been there so many times. I could work 24 hours because I am constantly spinning ideas. I am constantly creating content, creating products, creating services. My mind is constantly moving. So I have to have hard boundaries and hard lines where I have a cutoff time. I have a work schedule every day so I can stay within those boundaries, because I did hit burnout and I pretty much stopped everything for 2 years and made no progress because I mentally and physically was so burned out. So don't be like me. I'm a coach and I can coach people on how to do these things, but sometimes it's hard to listen to your own advice. So I'm telling you right now, you have to guard your time like it's sacred. That should be a key value in running your business. Tip number 4 is stop building alone. We were never meant to do life alone. So I don't know why we feel like we have to take on an entire business by ourselves, but God designed us for a community and for iron sharpening iron. So join a group of like-minded people who speak your language, believe what you do, hold the values that you do, who get business and have an expertise in business, because we can always learn from each other, and get God involved. Spoiler, that is why I created the Bold Life Collective. If you don't know what that is, check out the description below this video. The Bold Life Collective is a community group for Christian entrepreneurs, and right now it's free, so you should join us in there. We are doing a confidence challenge right now. There's more coming down the pipe, and it is an amazing, thriving place for entrepreneurs who are focused on their faith first and what flows from that. Tip number 5 is define success differently. When you base your worth on how many followers you have or sales you have, you set yourself up for burnout and discouragement. Instead, ask, what does obedience look like today? This is the difference between us as Christian business owners and the secular world, because we are taking steps in obedient faith and trusting God with the outcome. And that comes counter to our flesh and what our own ambition seeks. But I promise you, having experience with this and coaching other business owners with their experience in business, you have to define your success differently than the world. And that's what's going to give you peace and purpose and endurance to ride the wave of an ebb and flow. As a business owner, you're going to have, seasons of abundance. You're going to have seasons of famine. I mean, read the Bible. Okay. That is life. And there's going to be hard and good and all of it. So we have to be able to have a good endurance. And that is ultimately going to stem from us aligning what we're doing, the purpose that we're doing it with God. And that way, you know when to make the right business decisions, when to sit, when to rest, when to go, when to grow. Like, you're going to have more clarity walking through this with defining what matters most to you from the onset. So one of the women in our community, in a community group that I was a part of as a coachee, because I am a coach, I believe in coaches. I was in this group where this woman, her name was Ashley, but she was working like 60 hours a week, and she had a side hustle business that she owned. And she was holding on to this full-time job, working 60 hours a week. She was a mom, she had this side hustle, and she just hit this complete burnout. Like, I don't even know my name anymore right now. She was so busy and spent. And I remember her making this hard choice to quit her stable income to go all in on her side hustle, because it was growing, but she couldn't put in what was needed to make it replace her full-time income. But she prayed over it, and we prayed with her. And that's the beauty of community. And she made the leap. Before her first month out of her stable job, she had more than doubled her corporate income from her side hustle business. So I'm not here promising you that you're going to have crazy abundance, but when you're aligned with God and you are pursuing what He wants you to do, what action He wants you to take, there is abundance that comes from that in so many different forms. It comes in your peace. It comes in your health. It comes in having clarity on what to do next. It comes in making good business decisions. And you reap from that by aligning your business with God's values and His call on your life. So I want to encourage you in that, because we kind of have this secret weapon as Christian entrepreneurs, Christ. And He's going to do a lot of work in your business and through your business, whether it's financial abundance or growing closer to Him, which ultimately our purpose is to just have this abundant relationship with the Lord. And what comes from that is going to be spades more than what we could have ever accomplished on our own. So here's the truth. Thriving as a Christian entrepreneur isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with God at the center. And when your faith is fueling your business, you don't just grow. You literally flourish. And you don't need another course. You don't need another planner or another coach who tells you to hustle harder. You need a space to grow your business and your faith together. And I'm plugging the Bold Life Collective again, because it's a coaching community built for Christian women entrepreneurs who are done striving, ready to build strategy and peace and purpose. Inside, you're going to find all these different business trainings, mindset coaching, biblical foundation, practical tools to help you, and clarity, a way to figure out what your steps are, and just having the community. So if you are ready to step into thriving in that way and taking bold action, I encourage you to get in there. And I want you to comment below with what tip you needed most to hear today. And be sure to catch the next video all about the strategy you need to go from making $0 a month to $10,000 a month. See you next time.